We started last summer, and I didn't tour, and I started doing the Nashville thing that I'd never done before. I lived in Nashville for 8 years, but I never did that songwriting thing that, you know, Nashville's known for. So I started doing it, and I really fell in love with it, and that's all I would do. And then started recording some of those songs, and that's how this record just sort of happened.
Yeah, wake up, have breakfast, have some coffee, start writing, break for lunch, go back, work 8 hours, clock in. You have a just clock in there.
Basically, wake up, and Pat McLaughlin would bring me coffee, and he'd always stop at Starbucks.
There you go.
Yeah, he swore it wasn't to look at the girl in the drive-thru window, but he always brought coffee, and yeah, we started 9 o'clock sharp.
Okay, so you went from 200 to 10. What was that process like? Did you have some clear songs where you said this is definitely a key?
You know what? I had a couple songs that I felt like I really wanted to be on the record, and then everything else I just made match or feel good with those two. So once we picked, like, Waiting on a Song was the first one, and I knew I wanted it to be short. I wanted it to be concise so that the songs spoke, you know, had more room to speak, and it was hard, but I think it was the right move. Some of these songs, you know, we'd write Monday through Wednesday and then record Thursday through Saturday. That sort of became the schedule. So most of these songs we'd write and record in the same week, and then never come back to them, you know, until, you know, we had to pick some.
I read where the Mark Knopfler, who plays on Shine on Me, you didn't really have a relationship with him, correct?
I've still never met him.
How about that?
I went into the control room to listen back on the speakers, and I could hear his guitar. I just could hear it there. There was a space made for it, you know? And so that night I had my manager, I made a mix for him and I sent it to him. And I told my manager to find Mark Knopfler's email
Whatever you gotta do.
and ask him very nicely.
Yeah.
And 2 days later, he sent back the song with the guitar on it. You know, and that's how it happened. And I still never met him.
Tell me about your studio. What's it like? Give me a virtual tour without.
It's right downtown. It's on 8th Avenue South, right down the street from Grimey's record shop, and it's sort of modeled after all the studios that made records that I really loved, like Muscle Shoals Sound, like Motown, like these kind of places that weren't huge, big, giant, grand rooms, and they weren't tiny like Sun. They were just sort of comfortable, you know. And I think the amount of time that I spend in the studio just had to be comfortable space, you know.
How many rooms do you have, like, for recording?
Just one big room, and we use the front lounge for splitting off. If we want to do acoustic stuff, we do it in the front with the electrics and the drums in the big room.
So have you got one floor in this building?
Just one floor.
Wow.
Yeah.
What floor is it on?
First floor.
Right on the first floor.
Yeah.
Did you have to do a lot of soundproofing and stuff?
We didn't really do too much soundproofing. I mean, I can hear, if a motorcycle drives by, you can hear it.
You hear it, right?
Yeah. Or a helicopter goes over, you can hear it.
Right.
But it's, you know, I like that stuff.